In this video, we will see why US dollar is used as the currency of the world. When economic scenario is uncertain, people want to put their money in something solid. That explains why 80% of all $100 currency notes in circulation are now held outside of the United States. This value is up from 30% in 1980. The steep rise in the number of $100 currency notes held overseas is a signal that people around the world recognize the dollar as the de facto global currency. They have confidence that if their local currency goes belly up, the dollar will hold steady. It's not only individuals that are stuffing US dollars under their mattress for a rainy day. It's foreign governments too. Governments don't stockpile physical dollars in their central banks, but they do buy up loads of US Treasury bonds and T-bills which are valued in dollars. Japan and China each own more than $1 trillion in US Treasury securities, followed by Brazil with $307 billion and the United Kingdom with $301 billion. According to the International Monetary Fund, more than 61% of the world's cash reserves are held in dollars. The euro is in second place at 20%. When even an economic powerhouse like China holds $1 trillion in reserve, that's a good sign that the dollar is still considered the mightiest of all the global currencies. The dollar wasn't always the world's de facto currency though. So let us see what has changed in between for the US dollars. Before World War II, all global currencies were backed by gold and each government guaranteed that its money was good for a certain amount of gold. Then came the Bretton Woods Agreement of 1944, which created the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. Also, as per this agreement, the US dollar was pegged to gold and other currencies were pegged to the US dollar as US held most of the world's gold supply. The dollar continued to dominate during the post-World War II boom years. Most of the world's monetary relations were arranged between the US and its political allies, and it was natural that these monetary relations to be conducted in US dollars. The Bretton Woods fixed exchange rate scheme collapsed in the 1970s when Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard during a period of domestic inflation, and this made the US dollar to further strengthen its value since then. The current numbers show that the US dollar is still the currency that nations and individuals turn to as a safe harbor in economic storms. The ultimate reason to this is due to the lack of a plausible alternative for US dollar. There have been periodic calls to shift more reserve holdings to the euro, the Chinese RMB, or even back to gold, but the dollar still reigns supreme. When countries shop for a reserve currency that's stable, secure and liquid, the US dollar is still their default choice. Hope you liked this video. We'll be back with more such videos. Bye-bye.